Despite recent optimistic statistics churned out by the National Road Safety Commission on decreasing accident rates, this year the country continues to record fatal accidents across the country. The latest was reported in Cape Coast, where over the weekend, which claimed 15 lives on the spot. Some experts believe road transport managers are not on top of the situation, and until drastic measures are taken, the carnage will continue. And in the studio with me this afternoon is DSP Alexander Obeng. He is the director for MTTU Research and Training Unit, and Godfred Achia Dapa. He's a road transport management consultant. Gentlemen, you're welcome to TV3. Yeah. I'll start with you, Mr. Dapa. Do you think we have lost Dakwa? Do you think we have lost the drive on road safety?
Yeah, I would say so. We are not doing our best. We are doing our best, but our best is not good enough. It's not good enough.
What do you think we should be doing?
I think everybody is aware about the causes of these accidents, and we have so many solutions. But the key solutions that should be tackled to handle the problem is not far-fetched. We are rather not going straight away to the source of the problem to handle it. Why do I say so? I'm telling you, with all the known causes, the key two solutions for road safety management is education and training and enforcement. These are the key, but there are others.
DSP, let me come to you. Are you and your stakeholders in control of our roads, or you've been overwhelmed?
I think given the challenges that we've had over the years, I wouldn't say we've lost the battle. Given, for instance, between January and September, that compared to the same period last year, there has been significant reduction in crashes by almost 8%, and those that have been killed, though life lost is one too many, but significantly 10% reduction has been realized same period, and in terms of death about 6%. So we were faring well, but you wake up and within October you begin to see the average weekly death surging from 30 to 36 to 40 and 46, and everybody begins to shake. And I'm not surprised Mr. Dakwa is saying this, but I think that measures have been put in place, except that the system must click. We should begin to see the synergy, the benefit of it, so that if the road engineer is ensuring that good roads are being constructed, the police, motor traffic and transport department will also have to be seen on the road, ensuring that those who are infracting are detected, arrested and put before court, for the motor court to also act, and also educational agencies, including National Road Safety Commission, and then the driving schools, and then all the consultants are also doing their best, and expecting that at the same time the vehicle owners and drivers will also show and portray to Ghanaians that they are grateful to Ghana for giving out the training that they have been given, and show it when they are driving, because some of the crashes you see that don't expect police to be present, but rather the driver should police on behalf of Ghana and drive defensively and all that. So these are some of the worrying signs that are coming up, that on highways at dusk and at dawn and even clear day, drivers are crashing into one another. But underlying fact is that these crashes could have been avoided. Yes, because head-on collision on a road that is well engineered, straight and flat, at 7 to 8 p.m. all the vehicles are competent, because if you look at their age and all that, but speeding, these things are happening, and intolerance. So for us, like you said, education is important, but at the same time we expect drivers in particular, particularly the commercial drivers who are carrying Ghana, to be very, circumspect and show tolerance and patience, and anticipate and know that the road is not meant for only motorists but other road users.
Let me find out from you again, are there interventions that we are not considering? I
think generally the country, given the limitation in terms of resources, we optimally make sure that what is needed to be done is being done. If you look at the strategy that the country is pursuing and the action plans that accompany it, one will say we are doing better, but within it, as Professor Kosa said, the devil lies in the details. Then you look at the specifics. Then you see that there are challenges with regard to what is it that the agencies are supposed to do, because when we talk to the road engineer, that also play a major role in reducing road crashes. They will tell you because of funding, the plans are there, but they cannot act. If you have police, say, oh, because of funding, we don't have the necessary gadgets and all that, the numbers and all that. But you see, road safety will not wait. That's why we think that the action plan should be executed with all zealousness.
Mr. Dakwa, let me find out from you. You are a road transport consultant. Do you think our regulations are stringent enough?
Thank you very much. When you look at the Road Traffic Act and the regulations, they are okay. The embodiments, the enactments, the laws are okay. It can't go for it. It can deal with the situation.
So what is lacking?
The problem is that we have to give the backing. The enforcement should be given the totality support to do the work. Look, I can't remember some time ago when Daniel Aboga was the in charge of MDTU. Getting to the Xmas, he deployed police visibility. There was so many police presence on the road. That very year, accident reduced drastically. Okay, now I thank God this present IGP with the MTTD is also doing excellent. When I see the police visibility in town, perfect. So you can see that when they go into the statistics, the accident rate in the urban areas are down low. It's very, very low. But when you go to the non-urban areas where the fatalities are high, when I say the non-urban areas from a city to a city, okay, those places, the highways, that's where the accident rate is high. So I would rather want to suggest that when people see the high visibility of police, they try to be on their toes. We should extend it into the highways. They should let the police presence be felt, especially get to the Xmas. You know, we are entering into the accident peak periods where fatality is going to increase. So from November, December is chaotic. And I pray that the MTTD, would look at it and explore, leave a lot of police people in the black spots. You know, most of these accidents do happen on the black spots, where we have black spots where the accidents do occur frequently. So if possible, if nothing at all, we can have some of these police patrolling teams stationing at those black spots. We know them. They're about, we have their size of between 105 to 200 and something. Let's deploy them. If we have even 2 policemen or even a single policeman with a van standing on this black spot, my sister, it will reduce the problem.
Yes, the police are very much visible on our roads, and yet we see these accidents. Yes, but let me find out from you. What do your men look out for? We see the rickety cars, we see the drunk driving. What do they look out for?
Well, we look out for all these in addition to the road law, what do you call demands, and we're looking at how competent the vehicle is, how roadworthy it is, and whether it conforms to the registration standards of the state. And in addition, you look out for the one handling the vehicle, whether it's also competent to handle that class of vehicle, and then you look at how they are using the road. Okay, well, we look at it in specific terms. You look at the competent vehicle. You're looking at whether the tires are okay, for example, whether the vehicle has reflective material to show its conductivity during when it's on highway or broken down, so people don't crash into it. Whether the vehicle has got required or specified driving mirrors, and the seating are okay, and the body, the structure itself is good enough to carry passengers on board, and the number of passengers on board, we look at it, and the load that is carried, whether it's not leaking among others and not falling off and dragging among others. And for regard to licensing, we want to be sure whether that class of vehicle is being handled by the person who is trained and tested to handle that vehicle on behalf of the state by DVA. And therefore we look at whether you are riding a motorcycle, whether you have the license A to ride it. If you are driving any car or 4x4, if you have license B to handle it, and whether you have license C, D, and F to handle commercial vehicle with its varying classes among others. And of course, the use of the road is what we're talking about. Black spots area, how are drivers maneuvering and behaving? And therefore, how are you overtaking? Why should you overtake on a crest? Why should you overtake in curves? Why should you overtake on a road which has a long continuous center line? It's not broken, that does not allow for drivers to overtake one another among others. And how are you tailgating and speeding among others? And some of these things that we do. But you know, there are certain problems that we have to address, like you talked about driver training, because there are certain instances, and I know Ghana cannot afford that we spread police on at length and breadth of our road network of about 65,000 kilometric length. That Ghanaians can't, and that's why I talked about another intervention, education. That when police is not there, because police cannot be everywhere. When police is not there, at dusk and at dawn and at midnight, in that curve, we expect that a driver who's well trained and given a license to handle that vehicle on behalf of the state show to Ghanaians that he loves life. And that is very important, and not the economic consideration they give to. You understand? Because most vehicle owners and drivers are giving only consideration to the economic gains. And therefore, they don't care about maintenance of the vehicle, they don't care about how they are maneuvering, and they don't care about the fact that in overtaking to make more trips, that is where the danger lies of crashing into an oncoming vehicle. And therefore, I will also suggest, in addition to everything, that if drivers are failing us, the engineer can do more. And the road engineer, whether at urban roads, highways, or feeder roads, to ensure that most arterial roads, most highways linking most of our, urban jurisdiction, Accra, Kumasi, and all that, are dualized to make it difficult for this fatal or headlong collision to, because headlong collision on highway, there's always element of speeding.
Sure.
And that's why there's high degree of injury, deaths, and destruction to property. So some of these things are embedded in our strategy, but we need to exact it.
Mr. Dakwa, let me find out from you, finally, what do you make of the processes of the DVLA? The kind of people who are issued with licenses, the reckless driving on the road, they are the major causes of accidents on our roads.
Yeah, concerning the DVLA, I think this time, when you go there, you see that things have changed. Things have changed. They have improved in their operations. They have introduced so many mechanisms and so many procedures that try to sieve out the bad ones from the good ones. But looking at the introduction of this new CBT, the computer-based test, it is another key thing that DVLA has introduced that would quickly eradicate people who are not competent to be on the road. Let me tell you something. Driving needs a lot of thinking. Driving needs a lot of calculation. Driving needs a lot of psychology and a whole lot of things. But people who are mostly in this business have not tested on these grounds. And that is why you see that most of these accidents that do okay are mainly from the commercial arena. Look, the statistics will tell you most accidents that happen on the commercial arena. Why? It's because people in that industry are people who, in quotes, are the dropout from the normal educational setups, and therefore their strength, their intelligence level leaves by to be desired. So with the introduction of this CBT, and even I want it to be enhanced to the extent that even when someone is going for renewals of licenses, there should be some form of testing. It shouldn't be only the practicals. Let me tell you something. It is the theories that cause the problem. When you talk about the practical, changing the GS and step on the brakes, everybody thinks they can do it. A dog can't even do that. But the theoretical aspect, that can help them to manage the risk. That's what is lacking. And DVLA should intensify that.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, for speaking to us. We have been speaking to DSP Alexander Obeng. He's the director for MTTU's Research and Training Unit. And we have been speaking also to Mr. Godfred Achad Dakwa, a road transport management consultant, on the spate of accidents on our roads. We're taking a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Please stay.